squeezing profits out of every wager. It's AI worth the squeeze. And Skybox Sports Network. Get your dream sports ticker and live odds boards at Skybox Sports Network. Welcome in, everybody, to Week 12 of Man vs. the Machine. We focus on the intersection of expert-based capping and AI-generated data-backed projections in this fast-growing world of sports betting. I'm Steve Shellman. This is Brian Reinert. We'll be taking you through the NFL slate this week using a combination of Brian's expert capper opinion and our AI winning picks. Brian's a world-renowned poker player. He's actually been capping games well before the boom of online sports gambling, and lately he's come out of retirement from the poker world. He's been doing a lot of tourney play lately, and he's been on TV, he's been winning pots, he's been hanging in there with the best of the best. So, Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about your poker adventures recently?
Yeah, so, I haven't played live tournament poker. I mean, other than, some dailies when friends come out to Vegas or whatever, like just very little. When I retired, I just didn't enjoy playing anymore, to be totally honest with you. And so there's a big WPT championship is held out in Las Vegas every December, World Poker Tour Championship. It's like a $5 million guaranteed. It usually ends up being closer to $7 or $8 million. And I got the itch to play. I played a tournament online, I think 2 weeks ago, and I actually won the whole thing outright, which, in poker it happens very rarely that you actually finish first, And so, anyway, I kind of got the bug a little bit. I enjoyed myself playing. I think that was the biggest part. So I went out and played a small $250 tournament, 300-400 people or whatever. And so I played it. It was a couple days, and I ended up finishing 7th. And I was like, this was kind of fun. And as I was walking out, an old buddy of mine, everyone's in town for the Venetian Deep Stack Series and then the WPT. And I saw a buddy. He's like, you got to jump in this 1600 ante-up main event here at Venetian. And I was like, yeah, I just grinded for 2 days. I didn't want to burn myself out, but I was like, you know what, the hell with it. I'm going to jump in right now. Like, it was late registration, whatever. So I jumped in and ended up bagging up almost 300,000 chips, like the field for this 1600 was unbelievable. I mean, Chris Moorman and, Katie Lindsay and, Barry Schulman. I mean, it was just it was stacked full of wizards, big time pros. And so anyway, I backed up 293,000. Didn't think much of it, Came home, was exhausted. It was just way too much poker. For people that don't play tournament poker, you don't understand. You're like, how can you get tired? You just sit there and play poker. But there's a mental fatigue that kind of happens. So anyway, jumped into it, bagged up, 30 big blinds, which was, a good stack for me. I was short pretty much most of the day. And then went to day 2 with 36 players left, already in the money. And then we played down to the final TV table of 7. And I ended up making that. I came in 4th in chips with, funny enough, the exact same 29 big blinds, of course, at much higher blind levels. So then, so I went to Venetian for day 3 and filmed the live stream TV final table in the beautiful brand new Poker Go studio, man. I'm telling you that it's the nicest poker studio I've ever been in. I played, on World Poker Tour main events, I mean, this thing was absolutely just stunning, beautiful. So anyway, I had 0 cards. Anyone saw the stream? On the entire final table, I had 3 pocket pairs. So I was bobbing and weaving and got some bluffs through and picked up some blinds and ended up finishing 4th, a little over 30 grand. So covers my buy-ins, for December and then some. And so, I was pretty happy. I mean, I felt like I played an A game of poker, which is, being retired for, 7 years was, pretty good on day 1. And then I played an A+ game on day 2. I mean, I went from, 300,000. At one point I had 2.6 million and then I kind of went card dead at the end and came into the final table with 1.4 million. But, I mean, I played an A+ game at game 2 and then a B- game. But a lot of that, when you don't have cards, you got to sometimes, and I probably don't call off my stack, with pocket 5s to the guy that shoves when I got eliminated because, it's just not a pair that, it's so low it doesn't play really well. But I was hoping I was flipping, and it was really more just, I thought I had a beat on the guy. He had slammed into me 20 times, just all in, stealing my blind. So anyway, it was fun, man. Back in the poker seat, and excited to get back into football.
I was confused because I mean I saw you play this tournament and then you posted something, you showed me something. I was like, wait a second now, is he in a second tournament now? Because all of a sudden you were in another tournament, and I was like, wait a second, man, I thought he was just playing the one tournament, man. What happened? This is like a double, man. So
played two and cashed in both.
Nice, man. Well, that's good, man. I'm happy for you, man. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it was fun.
So
appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this game, or jump into some games this week in the NFL. The NFL's been kind of crazy. Last weekend we had a kind of a crazy weekend. Just to refresh our fan base, each week we'll focus on a few games and insights from both Brian's human perspective and our AI perspective, give you the best of the week. We chose a few games yesterday to focus on, and now we've gathered today in this virtual space to give you those insights and hopefully make some winning bets. So just a real quick reminder, PropJuice is a data-driven sports AI picks app that delivers projections for game outcomes and player props. Squeeze more profits out of your wagers. Get PropJuice AI worth the squeeze at propjuice.ai. So what do you say? Let's get started. How was your sports betting weekend now that we know about the real highlight of your weekend in terms of your Vegas Venetian poker tourneys?
I went 50-50 on the 4 games we talked about. I actually had a pretty good week outside of the 4 games we ended up settling on, but we knew going in that we did that on purpose. We picked the 4 hardest games, playoff teams, real close spreads, Buffalo we ended up hitting. I think they started to look good. I mean, I'm starting to worry a little bit about Buffalo only because they didn't get Dalton Kincaid back. Yeah, there's a lot of injuries going on. I think they had a few issues with a team that they should have dominated, to be totally honest with you. So, but anyway, we went 50-50. The Rams was one of my top bets, and that got a little close at the end. And then the Lions-Eagles, just to touch on it. I mean, I did lose the game. I had the Lions money line, actually. But, the pass interference call at the end of the game, now listen, is it going to change everything? I mean, the Lions can score quickly, but that was one of the worst calls I think I've seen this weekend. I mean, A.J. Brown obviously shoved off as you looked at it.
It was offensive pass interference.
Exactly right. You're exactly right. I mean, I thought when the flag went up, that's what they called. And I was like, oh, we're going to get better passes. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of shitty, and then, I cursed myself because I've been against Kansas City all year, and I went with them in Denver, and look what happened. So Brian will not be making that mistake again. That I can guarantee you.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna take the Chiefs at the Colts this weekend, baby.
I will tell you soon when we get to that game. But I'm telling you right now, I said Kansas City's not making the playoffs. They're 5-5 now. They're going to lose at least 2 or 3 more games, and lo and behold, they'll be on the outside looking in the winner.
Yeah, well, you should have stuck with your long-term plan over the weekend, man. Because I was like, wait a second, you're saying they're not making the playoffs, but they're going to beat the division rival this weekend? Like, what is that? So we had a good weekend because, we nailed the PropJuice pick of the week again. That makes us 3-1 over the last 4 weeks. Our pick of the week was the Broncos to cover 3.5 at the Chiefs. So we got that, and so we've been posting that on the Skybox tickers every week, and we're now 3-1. So feel good about that. But then, I just don't know why you don't stick to your guns, man, because you say Dak is Dak, and then you take the Cowboys and lose, and then KC has a down year, they're going to miss the playoffs, and then you take them to beat the Broncos.
It's week-to-week dependent, man. It's week-to-week dependent. It depends what kind of defense they're going up against. Things change. I mean, I have not been impressed with Denver this year. I was super impressed with Denver and made a lot of money on them last year. This year, I just have not been impressed. They've beat nobody. I mean, if you look at their schedule, they beat nobody.
Their defense
but then they played good against Kansas City. Their defense is playing good. I mean, I don't know. I'm still not sold on Denver, and I'm not sold on Kansas City. But I just kind of I didn't use the game because I didn't like it, but I'm mad that I didn't because there was a nice money line that we talked about on Denver, and that was some value I let get away from me. So, yeah.
Denver reminds me of, was it 2018, 2019, something like that. Patriots, the year they won the Super Bowl and beat the Rams, 10-3 in the Super Bowl, right? Because they were not very good. Everybody talked about how sorry they were and how they couldn't play.
But they just found a way to win.
Brady even came on TV and was like, "Man, everybody talks about how sorry we are and we can't win a game." And I remember the exact quote.
Exactly.
And they won the Super Bowl, man. But it's because of their defense, right? Brady didn't carry that team. Their defense carried that team. So
and they just found a way to win with just enough. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, that's kind of Denver. They just find a way to win games that you don't think they have any shot.
Yeah, they remind me
that's
of them.
That's a great analogy. That's a great comparison, Steve. I agree with that. That's exactly what they remind me of.
So, I mean, it could technically happen. They could win it.
You better get a bet down on them in the Super Bowl if you think so, because they're a nice number.
So, I mean, in terms of our weekend, we got creamed by the Chargers. That was our biggest freaking loss of the weekend, man. I can't believe that the Chargers lost that bad. I mean, we had the most projected profits, man, if the Chargers win that game, man. I mean, we were going to blow it out of the water. We had them on a lot of different parlays, and so, yeah, it was killing me, man. I even protected their win. I was like, Chargers plus 4.5. Certainly they won't more. Yeah. They won't lose by more than a field goal. And I mean, goodness gracious, dude, they got blown.
The injuries, the injuries are catching up to San Diego, and the reason I say that is they had some fill-in guys that filled in that just, it takes usually a week or two for coaches, opposition of coaches to kind of make adjustments. And I think people figured out that if they just take away the run and they force the pass, it doesn't get, Ladd and those guys just don't, and Quentin Johnson, they just don't get open when you can play a defense and really focus on that pass game, because you can just basically say, San Diego can't run the ball. I mean, Vidal's filling in as
he
well
was
as
okay,
he can,
but he wasn't very good.
But with their offensive linemen, they're not getting big guys. If you don't get yaks, they're not running the ball. And Jacksonville's got a good defense, and they just shut them down. So. Yeah, it was ugly. I didn't like the
being
game.
out, the offensive line being out, man, that just kills the Chargers, man. It kills the vibe.
Offensive line making no holes. If you look at the gaps, man, they were just getting dominated. So, I didn't like the game. I'm glad I stayed away from it because it hurt a lot of people for sure.
Yeah, it definitely hurt me. We had the Pats, going up against we had the Pats win in Thursday night, right? They won easily, and then the Dolphins we had beating the Commanders, so we won that game as well. We had the Bears beating the Vikings. We had the Texans over the Titans. Unfortunately, the Falcons can't beat anybody and got swept by the Panthers, man. Like, I don't know how you lose to the Panthers twice at home in the Dome. I mean, I know that Penix goes out and Cousins comes in, but I mean, there's just no excuse, man. You should win that game. So yeah, I had the money line on that, but we had the Panthers covering, so I actually won a couple of bets on the Panthers cover. Packers won, but the Giants covered the 7.5. I won both of those because I took both sides. I took a Packers like minus 2.5, and I took a Giants plus 7.5. The Niners won and covered. The Ravens won, but it was closer than expected. But we had a money line or a minus 2.5 on that, so we got that. So things were pretty good as we entered Sunday night, and then the Lions lost on all those dadgum fourth down calls. I mean, how many times are you going to try it on fourth down? I don't know, man.
They didn't look good.
Field goals and you win the game.
Yeah.
You kick two of them and you win.
Yeah. I mean, he was 0 for 5, and he was in field goal range for all of them. I mean, what do you do? I mean, like, I know Campbell. That's his MO. People know he likes to gamble. But you got to get better as you become a more seasoned coach and understand that that's 15 points you left on the board, and your offense looked terrible. The Philly defense just shut them down the whole game, which you haven't seen that happen to the Lions since week 1 when Green Bay did it to them. So they did not look good, but I thought, they could have tied that game up pretty easily. I think, they were going to get the ball back. They had plenty of time. So, I don't know. It was a little disappointing. I was a little salty over it because I liked the Lions a lot that week, last week. So, anyway, it was one of those ones. Again, they just didn't look good, though.
Projected profits went down when they lost because we had them on a bunch of parlays, and they were the last one to cash. We had them to cash, and then we had the Cowboys to cash on various parlays. So we lost the Sunday night ones when the Lions went down. I was like, And then the Cowboys won and got us through the weekend. We cashed an 8-leg, a 6-leg. We cashed a bunch of them that we had not taken the Chargers, and we had not taken the Lions. So we took a Panthers cover. So we got those and we won those. So and then the NBA continues to scream. So just a reminder, PropJuice has got the NBA live. Make sure you guys check it out. We got the new props that we've introduced this week. We got the new double-double, triple-doubles up. We got points, rebounds, and assists, king of the courts up. I've won on all those this week. I won some double-doubles. I won some triple-doubles. I won some points, rebounds, and assists, like Jokic going over 50 and Cade Cunningham the other night going over like 45. So we're doing really good on the NBA and props in the association, so make sure you check it out. Reminder from the cave.
Even Brian hit an NBA parlay, baby, and I hate the NBA. I took PropJuice. I took PropJuice because I wanted to do something last night. And I was like, you know what? I took Luka over 35. I took Phoenix money line, and I took the Lakers. And the Lakers were getting blown out in the first quarter and the first half. I was like, oh, this is the one that's going to cost me. And they just steamrolled them in the second half. And I also bet the second half minus 10.5. And I hit that on two different sites. So, yeah, it was awesome. I was like, I actually hit a NBA parlay only because of PropJuice, because I certainly don't research the game. It was a pure degeneracy play based on PropJuice. And it was awesome. I crushed it last night.
Nice, man. Awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, one of your friends crushed one too, man. He hit me up this morning and sent me a post of something that he won. That was cool too. So I know some of your friends are getting some action in there. We've been killing it, man. Last night I killed it on the Lakers game. We got beat by Avi because Avi's been like 20-25 for the Portland Trailblazers, and last night he had like 18 and didn't have a good game. So that kind of killed us, but that was really the only thing we lost last night, man. Everything else hit. Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I talked a little bit. Talked a little bit about PropJuice on the poker stream on the final table, and had a lot of poker guys reach out to me. You know, most poker players gamble; they do other things. You know, unfortunately for them, in some situations. But they all reached out to me. It's like, "Is this what you've been doing? You know, since you retired?" I go, "No, this is something brand new. I just been running my wine business and just kind of chilling. You know, betting sports, and still, you know, I maintain some private clients." But yeah, so I had a lot of people actually reach out to me through Twitter and text messages, you know, welcome me back to the community playing. And so, yeah, I mean, the people were really impressed with it. You know, like, you know, a lot of guys that play poker are also very, very much math geeks. You know, they're really into it. Sure. So they dug the, you know, that we're using the AI, not just, you know, the human research, but kind of the combination of the both, and turn them onto the podcast stuff. But they really loved the site. You know, I had some people like, go, dude, this is incredible. I said, listen, you know me, I was not jumping in to do anything. I don't need any more on my plate. But I was like, you know, after looking at this and talking with Steve, and I said, within one Zoom call, I was like, you know what? We should do this, because I think this has a lot of potential, and I think now people are really starting to see that this thing is, you know, is as accurate as you can be. I mean, we're at the upper echelon of any sports picking app there is. I mean, like that's a bold statement. That's where we're at. I mean, if I can do anywhere near 60%, 58, 59%, I have a huge year with my private clients. When you get into this mid 60s, high 60s, and even 70 on some of these weeks, it's unbelievable. And when I told people that, they're like, you're crazy. I go look, all the data's there. I don't have to tell you. You don't have to listen to me. I said, but all the data's there. Just go look at it. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to win that thing only for one reason, Steve. They give you a front magazine cover on Ante Up magazine, and they do a full article. And I just wanted to have a conversation about, hey, I'm back. I'm going to play a little bit of poker. Don't know how long it's going to last, but let me tell you about PropJuice. And unfortunately, I finished fourth, so I didn't get to. But anyway, it was good. It was
December when you win the big one, man. When you win the big one in December, man, we'll champion that.
I'll be PropJuice patched out, baby.
All right, reminder, given we're talking about PropJuice, From the Cave is sponsored by PropJuice. PropJuice, a full suite AI sports picks app, delivering data-driven game picks and prop bets right to your phone and favorite web browser. It recommends the top dog of the day, breaks down multiple models of each week's game action all season long. Sign up at PropJuice.ai. Like we said, the NBA is live. It's screaming. We're winning games. I think we picked 6 out of 7 last night. I had a huge parlay. We hit a bunch of prop parlays. LeBron even got he had 10 assists. He had over 10 assists last night. He had more assists than points last night. I had him for over 10 rebounds and assists, and I had him for over 20 points and assists, and both of those cash, man. So anyway, go sign up at PropJuice. Put our sponsors code in at checkout. Remember, Skybox Sports Network, their sponsor code is Skybox10. Put that in checkout. Skybox10. Get 10% off your platinum level subscription at PropJuice.ai. Okay, let's jump into our first NFL matchup this week. We talked a little bit about Josh Allen and the Bills and them not playing so well lately, but, Allen playing really well last week. I mean, we got the Texans going from hot and dry to potentially cold and wet as they take on the Bills. So Stroud's officially been ruled out again as of today. I checked that. He's been in concussion protocol for a while, man. It must be a real bad one. He's been out multiple weeks. So we got Davis Mills versus Josh Allen on Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. Bills coming off the win over Baker and the Bucks. But the Bucks are reeling, man. And, they didn't really play that well. We're going to talk about them a little bit later in another matchup. But, the Bills, we talked about it just a second ago. He didn't look that great, or the Bills just don't look that great. But he put on his cape. He scored 6 touchdowns, right? I mean, it was crazy, man. And the Texans had to dig deep to get that win versus the lowly Titans. So, I don't know, man. This could be a defensive battle. The Bills offense could come to life. Allen could put his cape on again. How do you see this game going, Brian?
Yeah, I looked at this game a lot. I talked a lot about the Texans. I was surprised this line came out at 6, being in Houston, or at 5.5. It kind of went to 6. A little Steve pushed it a little further. I still, I just think the Buffalo injuries are hurting them, and I think,
Josh it's not in Buffalo.
That.
I'm sorry, I screwed that up. I said they were going to cold and wet. It's the Buffalo Bills. They're going to Houston. Okay, that makes it a little bit
it's in Houston.
Now.
That's why I was really surprised when that line came out.
My bad.
Yeah, so 5.5, and even steamed up to 6. I saw, when the line first came out, I was like, this is crazy. This should be like a 3-point game. I've been really high on Houston, made some great money like the last 3 or 4 weeks after I did that deep dive on their defense. The problem with Josh is he doesn't have his safety valve in Dalton Kincaid, and he's out. I mean, they put him on IR, so that is really, really, really hurt. And I heard, that they were trying to make a move because this injury was a little bit longer than what everyone kind of assumed, and they were looking to make a tight end acquisition. And I tell you what, it's really taken an effect on Josh because, he runs and he's successful running when everything else breaks down. When they got to run plays for him to run, it's not a good sign. That just means they have no offensive weapons. And I mean, other than Shakir, and I don't know what's going on with Keon Coleman, man. This guy just sounds like the biggest head case there is. But I'm really, really, really worried about what they're going to do against a Houston defense. That being said, Buffalo was my Super Bowl team to start the year. I like where Josh is now than where he was, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, especially at the Miami game where he just did not look good. James Cook has played very well though. That's what I think was,
he's the key to their offense, man.
Yeah, I kind of weighed everything back and forth. Yeah, and I think the bottom line that really pushed me to take Buffalo here, even though the game's in Houston, is I think James Cook could have a really big game running the ball. And so I went Buffalo -6, and I could not wait to hear how AI chooses this game up because Houston's defense is still the top of the NFL. And so, anyway, I'll go with Buffalo -6.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have the Bills winning this game in terms of the AI. But we've got it's a 0.54 probability, which is a lot different than the book at 0.71. So we actually have this kind of as more of a toss-up game between Houston and the Bills. Kind of no surprise based on the money line probability that we have the Texans covering this game. So if Allen plays like he did last week, though, I don't think there's any chance that Davis Mills can cover the game. But if Allen does, if he plays he's been Jekyll and Hyde, man, the last few weeks, right? I mean,
married life, baby.
Against the Dolphins, it was horrible. Against the Patriots, he wasn't that good. I mean, he's just been playing. And then he played great last week. So it's just like who you get. So I mean, we got scores ranging from 24-23, 27-22, 29-24, 27-24, and our consensus is 27-23, 4-point game. So, who's going to show up in terms of Allen, I think depends, basically decides the game and the cover. I don't think that they lose to the Texans, right? But I think I'll probably go plus 7.5 definitely for the Texans, and I might take a 6. Is that what the line is right now? Right at 6?
Yeah, 6. 6.
Yeah. So yeah, in a parlay, I'll probably put a 7.5 in, and I'll put a straight in on the 6. The models say that we're going to get this cover. So, we got 3, 5, 7. It doesn't get to 7. Never gets to 7. So, as far as player props, we do have Cook going over, so that's kind of interesting. We got Schultz going over 39 yards and 5 receptions. We got Cook going over his rushing yards. We got Chubb going over his rushing yards for Houston. We got Allen and Cook both scoring TDs according to TuddyCast. And we got Palmer, who's been back. He got back last week, so we have him having a couple catches and him going over 27 receiving yards this week. I wanted to show this new view real quick in PropJuice. What we have here is Nico Collins. This is Nico Collins' receiving yards trend that we have. And we've got what the opponent allows. So these are the opponents that he's played, the last 10 opponents that the Houston Texans have played. And the purple bars represent the average yards that team gives up receiving. And then we got his trend plotted on top of it. And then we got his average on top of that. So you can compare what the opponent allows, what that player gets, and his average over the course of the season. Just another view we have. I'll just point that out. Another kind of analysis that you can do when you're looking at props for specific receivers. And then you can think about what this particular team that they're playing, what their defensive stat is, and if you think he's going to go up above, or how that defense is going to play that receiver. So a new view in, wanted to point that out for you guys. So please take a look at that, check it out, give us some feedback, or report any bugs you find. So from the cave, man versus machine, sponsored by PropJuice, squeezing profits out of every wager. It's AI worth the squeeze. Sign up at PropJuice.ai. Get that platinum level subscription to be able to break down all the models and get the signals for making parlays and choosing winners at PropJuice. AI work the squeeze. All right, let's go on to the second matchup. Packers had a stinker, then responded a little bit last week, but they only beat the Giants by 7. They didn't cover the 7.5 spread. The Packers were tied with 4 minutes left when Love hit Christian Watson for a 17-yard touchdown pass. And then they had the 2-point conversion to keep the margin as a touchdown and make the Giants drive the length of the field to score, and they couldn't do it. So the Packers end up winning that game by 7. Meanwhile, the Vikings lost to Caleb Williams, who seems to have to be the 2-minute guy this year. Do they win in the last 2 minutes every weekend? It seems like they kick a late field goal to beat the Vikings. The Bears are turning into that win close game team. Who knew? JJ threw 2 picks. He had a touchdown, but he only had 150 passing yards. The Vikings also did let the run kind of destroy him. I think they allowed 140 yards on the ground to DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. So you're letting 140 yards on the ground. Yeah, that's a real tough game to win. So these teams seem like they have a lot of promise that they're showing, but the Packers seem to be shining a little bit more than the Vikings these days. With JJ not having such a great game last week, I don't know who you got in this game. This is tough, man. I don't know who the Vikings are each week.
This is a tough game, but I will tell you a trend I've kind of seen in the last few weeks. Love is not a quarterback like a Stafford that needs to be, that needs to be out there throwing 35, 36, 37 passes a game. It's just not. They need to get back to focusing on their running game. And the problem is with the injury, they're saying it's not as bad as it was with Jacobs. So I just got to say, I think Green Bay has some issues now. From the team I saw and actually put a future bet down after the Lions game is not what I've seen for the rest of the year. To be told, even the games they've won, they have never looked great. Against Philly, they didn't look good. They looked Carolina last week. They had to struggle to come back to win that game.
I was nervous.
Anyway, I think J.J. McCarthy is getting his legs underneath him. I think being off kind of hurt him a little bit. He does throw too many picks, but you got to remember, his rookie year, people are like, well, this is his second year. But he didn't play. I mean, this is his rookie year. I mean, and so I think he's learning, the game's a little faster, and I think he's learning how defenses kind of bait you a little bit. I mean, his interceptions, if you watch them, he was completely baited into throwing a bad pass. And so I'm gonna go, and I actually like this game a lot. I'm taking Minnesota, and I'm taking them at the 6.5 points. And actually, we're gonna do a 7.5 to my private clients, a push. We already got it down because the vig was really low when the line first came out. So we took 7.5 in Minnesota. I like this game a lot. I gave it a 4-star, and I think Green Bay's got some issues. I think they got some issues on defense. And I think that's gonna hurt them a little bit. I think Minnesota's gonna be able to. I like McConnell. I like the coach of Minnesota, and he's real cerebral. And I think he's gonna figure some things out that I've kind of seen on film with Green Bay's defense. So I like Minnesota here at 6.5. Not enough to take a money line bet. It's a great number. I mean, if you go to Skybox and take a look at it, it looks good. It looks value wise. Maybe I throw it on one little parlay to win outright, but I'm going to take Minnesota plus 6.5, and as a 3-star at that line. But at 7.5, I made it a 4-star, 4.5-star. So anyway, I'm going to go Minnesota plus 6.5, baby.
Right. I mean, we got the same thing going on as the last game we talked about in terms of we got a fairly low money line. Anything in the 50s to me is low. Anything in the 60s is decent, and obviously prefer the 70s on money lines. Man, that gives you a little bit bigger spreads to work with as well. We got a 0.58 money line on this, and the book is at 0.73. So we're really different than the book. Now all of our money lines. Probability models are above 50%, so we don't have any that are below that. Sometimes we have some disagreement, so they all agree that the Packers they're gonna win this game, but they're all pretty low. Our biggest spread though is 4.43, so minus 4.4. So this could be one of those games where it's 23-20 and the Packers drive the length of the field and make it 27-23, win by 4. It could be a 20-20 game, Packers drive the length of the field, kick a field goal, 23-20 game, right? That's kind of how I see this game, because I don't think the Packers are blowing anybody out these days. I mean, I just don't see them blowing anybody out lately. We got them under 30 points in terms of the Packers. So we got a 25-21, a 22-19, a 22-18, a 20, basically 20-20 to 19.8, and our consensus is 22-20. So it's a 2-point game consensus-wise. So yeah, I mean, maximum 5-point game in terms of our spreads, which is kind of interesting. I'll definitely go 7.5 on this game, with the Vikings covering. Like you said, you put in early. Definitely probably do that on some parlays. I might take a Packers minus 2.5. I don't know. I might take a Vikings plus 4.5 too. Like I said, like that 27-23 game I just talked about is a high possibility. I like those 4.5. Those plus
I just looked at the parlays I put in early right when the lines come on. I always like to try to where I think there's an exposed line a little bit. And I got 248 money line on one. I mean, you're talking about almost 2.5 to 1 explosion on a parlay. I just think that money line is too juicy, and I think they could actually win the game. I mean, it's in Green Bay, tough place to play. It's going to be cold. But J.J. McCarthy played in Michigan, man. He's a Michigan kid. There's going to be no problems there. So anyway, I did do one. I just saw where I got 248 money line straight up on the Minnesota Vikings, baby.
All right, man. I might take it, man, because they just there's upsets in the NFL every week, man. This could be one of them, man. The Packers just have not looked very good. So is Jacobs out?
I mean, I just was going back to because I saw he was still listed as questionable. And has it updated or not? I mean, let me just look it up real quick. He's still listed as questionable. He's not practicing Wednesday. or he didn't practice today, and he's still listed as questionable. But when I watched that interview, I got the feeling he wasn't going to play, and that drastically changed it. Which is one of the reasons why I put my private clients bet in early, and I instructed them to get it in early, squeeze it to 7.5, take it with the low juice before it started moving. But yeah, because I listened to 2 interviews, and both of them, I kind of got the feeling that this injury is a little bit more substantial than what they're saying, but not enough to go on injured reserve. But he could be limited in snaps, or he could not play at all, which will drastically affect this game.
Yeah, Yahoo Sports is recommending that they rest him and don't play him anyway, even if it's minor.
Yeah.
I mean, That's just an opinion. It's an opinion by one of us in the media. basically, they're saying that I wouldn't play him. He's like their offense. Without him, you don't go to the playoffs. Right? You don't get through the playoffs without him. So you better be sure that he's healthy before you put him in there. It's basically what Yahoo's kind of their opinion is. So kind of interesting to see that. Yeah, I like Minnesota even more now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Marshawn Lloyd's been on the injured reserve, and you got Chris Brooks and Emmanuel Wilson in the backfield, so you don't have much.
Yeah, we don't actually have Jacobs going over. We got Watson going over receiving. We got Addison going over, and we got Jefferson going over. So you got 2 Minnesota Vikings going over, and you got Christian Watson going over, and he might only be going over because he's had 2 big long balls the last couple of games. And so those are kind of dependent on if he gets a long ball or not. So, it's interesting. It's an interesting game. Okay, so before we move on to our third matchup, let's have a word from our sponsor, Skybox Sports Network. Hey guys, I'm Steve Shellman, the founder of PropJuice. Head on over and get your live odds boards over at Skybox Sports Network. You can get 10% off your live odds boards or your sports tickers over at Skybox Sports Network. Available on Amazon and on their website. You can check out all the latest odds. Right here we got player props, Washington Commanders. Live right now, Jaden Daniels, over 228 passing yards, minus 115. You think he's going to go over? What about Jordan Love? He's over 234, minus 115. You think he's going to go over? Check out your odds all day long. We got receiving props. We got wide receiver, longest rush, or rushing props for running backs, and wide receiver props, longest pass, receptions, receiving yards. We got all the odds from NCAA football, the NFL, MLB, WNBA, NHL. It's all available right here on your live odds board. Get your live odds board from Skybox Sports Network. Get 10% off with code PropJuice at checkout. Get your best bet at PropJuice. Go check out the best price from Skybox Sports Network. Get your odds board at Skybox Sports Network. Okay, we're back and ready to preview Baker and the Bucks. Heading out to LA to take on Matt Stafford's Rams. Yes, this is becoming a staple of our show, Stafford's jersey.
Go Dogs,
Rams are
baby, go Dogs!
Go baby. Man, we're up number 4, maybe this week, man. We got a bye right now in the playoffs, man. Let's hope we keep that. We got to beat Georgia Tech, though, man. Goodness gracious, man. That scares me a little bit. We'll see. All right, so Rams coming off that huge win over Seattle. I mean, that was a nice game, right? To take the division lead, they could have had a letdown, or they could have a letdown against the visiting Bucks. But I don't know. I'll see it. We'll see what you say. And when we got, the Bucks are coming off the loss at Buffalo, where Allen took over the game. The injuries seemed to kind of be devastating the Bucks still. Baker can only play hero ball so often. I think Godwin's out and Irving's out again this week. So, I mean, do you think Baker has any chance against this Rams juggernaut of a team?
So I actually bribed the tournament director. I was on day 2 to put the Seattle Rams game on the TV right behind the table. I was like, here's $100, man. I got a huge amount of money and client money on this game on the money line, and I need the Rams bad. I got a little scary at the end. I don't like the Rams letting teams back in. I mean, they in the first half, you watch the first half, you watch the second half, but Seattle's a good team. I mean, that they came back wasn't surprising, but it got a little dicey at the end. I got a little nervous. I wasn't really so much focused on poker at that time. It was a hell of a lot more money right on the game than this damn tournament. So, but anyway, this is my number 1 bet of the week. I like the Rams. I'm glad the line was under 7. It's 6.5. I think Nakua is getting getting back from his injury. He seems like he's running and he's getting open on his routes again like he did earlier in the season. Kyron Williams is. He had 73 yards, but he only had 14 carries, and he looks fantastic. I mean, he had a
He's a beast, man, for how little he is.
He's a beast. Yep. And I think Devontae Adams, we worried about him when he went out with his back. Remember, I was like, and he had a great game, and so great game against San Francisco the week before, and then I don't think he even played the fourth quarter, right? So, anyway, and I kind of I love Higbee. Higbee reminds me of the Dalton Kincaid for Josh. For Stafford, it's just kind of that those guys don't get open or they get stuck on a route or they get pinched, and that release is always kind of open for him. So anyway, this is my best bet of the week. It's a 5-star for me only because of the injuries for Tampa. Just have them decimated. It's sad because I think Tampa had a team that could have went really deep if they all would have stayed healthy, and their running game, White filled in kind of as best he could, I'll say, but he's not Bucky Irving. And then with Godwin, and then they still don't have the other two top receivers, Evans. So anyway, I think the Rams are going to win this, and I think they're going to win this well. 6.5 was a great line. It was perfect what I was looking for. Got down heavy on it, and then I pushed it on some small wagers to 13.5. Based on the Rams being at home and
the Bucs being injured.
And being so injured, and I've been killing those squeezes. I mean, a couple weeks, 2 weeks back, right? I gave everyone the Lions minus 20.5 that we covered at a big number. So anyway, I pushed the Rams to 13.5, but love the 6.5. 5-star play, the only one I have this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, AI's all over the Rams. I mean, that's not really a surprise in terms of winning this game. We got a 0.62 money line, which definitely is better than what we've been talking about, right? 0.58, 0.52, 0.55, right? So I like them when they're above 60%. 62%, so that's pretty comfortable. Rams going to win this game. It does have the Bucs covering the 6.5, though we do have a spread right at 6.5, 6.45. So I don't think it happens. I think the AI is stretching there. I think it's betting on Baker a little bit too much. So I definitely go 7.5 on the cover, and I might go minus 2.5 on the Rams. I might do a little squeeze. You laughed at me last weekend when I took. What was the bet I took on the not the Lions game? It wasn't the Chiefs game. It was
where
one
you
of those
took
games.
Both teams?
Yeah, where I took both teams. I took the plus 4.5.
Tampa, right?
Yeah, maybe it was. And so
it was Tampa.
I got it. I won it. And so it took like a money line from like minus 300 and something or 400 and something. And then when you put the long cover and then the cover on the backside, put them together, I had basically a 2-leg parlay at plus money. So, it wasn't too bad. I won that bet. It was kind of fun. It's a fun bet. Because I really had no choice who was going to win this game. So, we might do something like that too. Minus 2.5 with the Rams, plus 7.5 Bucs, and really try to squeeze in. They're going to win by 4 to 7 points right here, and see what that comes out to. But our scores are 25-21, 30-24. We got one Bucs upset, 25-23. There's only one of those.
Wow.
They got one Bucs upset, and then we got 28-24. And our consensus scores: Rams 27, Bucs 23. Like I said, that in that 4-point kind of range there. So yeah, in terms of some props, Stafford 3 touchdown passes. I think he throws 3 touchdown passes every game now. Baker over 2 touchdown passes. Puka and Devontae both going over their receiving yards, and Ibuka also going over his receiving yards, and then Baker going over his passing yards, which is at 243. But that's only a 51% chance. So be wary of that when you look at it in the app, guys. Okay, so some props there. And we got the Rams probably having a field day at home against the Bucs. All right, so let's move on to our last matchup. We got the Colts and the Chiefs. So this is the one we've been waiting for, right? Chiefs are coming off that loss, which PropJuice predicted. They're now 0-5 in one-score games this year. They essentially blow out bad teams like the Giants, the Raiders, and the Commanders, and lose close ones to good teams like the Broncos, the Bills, the Eagles, and the Chargers. So, are the Colts a bad team KC can blow out, or do they get their first close win? Or do they get beat, baby, by the Colts, right? You say the Chiefs aren't making the playoffs? Are you taking them again here against the Colts, Brian? What you got to say about this one?
All right, so I think on the plus side for Kansas City, Pacheco practiced today, and obviously they missed him. Kareem Hunt is not an every down back. We know that. And missing Pacheco. Is Mahomes going to have another game where he has a QBR of 57? Probably not, but he was 15 for 34 and a pick. It was ugly. And it's not like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I love that game so much. I love Buffalo so much. Everyone knows I like the money line. I slammed it. My client slammed it. Everyone made money. Brian was back, you know, in the good graces of everybody. That being said, Danny Dimes is not going to have a 3-pick game again. I just don't see it happening. I looked at this game a lot, and playing at Arrowhead is a different situation.
Yeah, it's at KC.
It truly is. But I learned my lesson last week. You know, if you burn your hand on a stove and you put your hand back on that same stove, then you're the literal definition of insanity, where you're doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. It's not going to be a different outcome. It's the Colts plus 3.5, and it's the Colts money line on a couple of my parlays. This is the Colts. This is the Colts game. This is the Colts bounce back game. The greatest thing is they're coming off a bye, so they're going to get healthy. The Pittsburgh game stunk, but they also were banged up. And I like the Colts. I love 3.5. I think that hook is going to be very valuable, because I think the only way the Chiefs win is they get the ball last, Mahomes drives them down, and they kick a field goal. So I'm taking the Colts here, and I cannot wait to hear what the AI models came up with this game, because I'm sure it has KC, but not for me, and KC's not getting my action the rest of the year.
Man, the KC consensus spread's minus 13.5, dude. Like, they're blowing them out, man. It's crazy. I'm just kidding, man.
I knew there was no way that was accurate. No way.
So I got a consensus money line on of 0.64 for the Colts to win, baby. So this has the Colts
0.64 for the Colts to win?
0.64 Colts win.
Did we just agree on every game this week?
I think so. We'll have to,
we'll have to
rehash it. So I got Colts minus 5.8, Colts minus 5, Colts minus 8, Colts minus 4, Colts minus 2, Colts minus 4.5. I got one model that has the Chiefs minus 2. So the cover is absolutely live, plus 3.5. But I think the money line's live too.
I do too.
Yeah, our consensus score is Colts 29, Chiefs 26. So you could do Colts
why don't we
minus,
jump in?
You could do a Colts minus 2.5, man.
Yeah. Woo.
I mean, we just talked about, right? I just said that the Chiefs are 0-5 in one-score games. So if this comes down to a one-score game, who's going to win it? The Colts? And how are they going to win it? On a field goal? So let's take the Colts minus 2.5, baby.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's pretty interesting.
Let's look at the Skybox. Let's
take a look. This is our
man.
Skybox segment. Let's take a look. So if we want a money line on the Colts, man, what is it?
It's juicy, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Danny Dimes. I need you this weekend, baby.
And Jonathan Taylor.
The Colts are 148 at Caesars, and unfortunately, I guess BetMGM went to 145. I just refreshed, but I bet the Colts money line, and we were 148. And then I went to Skybox. I saw DraftKings went to 154, Fanatics went to 150, and FanDuel went to 156.
Dude, I'm taking the DraftKings 154 right now. I'm locking that in.
Yeah, they're coming in with steam. Oh, you're getting DraftKings 150? Yeah, 154. Yeah, they're coming in with steam on KC, which gets better for us. But I'm telling you, man, I feel this game and I feel an upset in Arrowhead. The Colts at a big number.
Yeah. Let's see, man. Let's see if it's still here. See where we got. NFL. All right. It's a 1 o'clock window. It's a 1 o'clock game too, man. So in KC, so that's noon, right? In Missouri out there. So yeah, man. 154. There it is, right there.
Yep. It's the Colts, baby. It's the Colts for me. I feel pretty good about the 4 games this week, you know? Like, I mean, I was busy. You threw them out there. I was like, I would have agreed to, you know, Northeast New Jersey State versus Servite, you know, this weekend because I was so busy with poker. But I like these 3 games. I like my picks this week. I got 2 dogs and 2 favorites. I got the Bills -6. I got the Rams -6.5. I got Minnesota +6.5. And I got the Colts +3.5. So 2-2 dogs versus the chalk. And I really feel good about these 4 games this week. There's a couple other games that I like, but this one I like. I like these 4 games. I think I'm going to sweep the card. And it's funny because AI is on the same page with all of them.
Yeah, I mean we do have the Green Bay game's the only kind of one that we have where we have. No, sorry, the Rams. We have the AI says the Bucks were going to cover that game, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
So that's the only one we disagree on, though. Everything else is fair game, man. And it's crazy that. And just real quick, man, could you give us the prices for the spread if some of our listeners wanted to take the Colts +3.5?
Exactly. So
what's the best price on Colts?
Yeah. So it looks like the best is Caesars is 3.5 -114. I mean, +3.5 -114, because it goes all the way up to like BetMGM is -3.5. It looks like it's 3.5 across the board everywhere. It is 3.5, but it's -118 and 120 at FanDuel and BetMGM, but then 115 at Fanatics and DraftKings, and then Caesars has 114, which is what I got at 348 or at 3.5. But I got the on the money line. I got a little better with the +148, which is where it is now. So, yeah, man.
What's that? How are the prices on Kansas City, man? Are they varying too? I got a -105 versus a -115 at DraftKings. So it looks like DraftKings is thinking that it's more favorable, or the more likely outcome is going to be the Colts covering the 3.5 as opposed to the Chiefs winning by 3.5, based on how they have those spread, how they have those prices.
Exactly.
Is there any weirdness going on at the other casinos too?
Yeah. So the money line is, straight up is 179 to 186, which is, there's no value there. That's terrible. But then the Chiefs are on the low side of the VIG, at -3.5, it's -106. -3.5, it's -105. -3.5, it's 105 at Fanatics. -3.5, it's -102 on FanDuel. And it's also -102 at 3.5 on BetMGM. So it's like they're, you got to, I know it's a lot of memes about KC and the refs. I saw a funny one this week. It was like they interviewed this guy that sounded like Mahomes, and he said, we usually have 14 players, and we only had 11 last week, and it's the guy carrying the refs off. I mean, they get the benefit of those calls, but they also, it's a little bit of a different scenario this year, and I'm not sure, this one is. I like the Colts. I don't want to say much more than that. I like the Colts. I like the Colts +3.5, and I even like the Colts on money line.
I mean, even the casinos like the Colts at 3.5, right? I mean, they're like pushing the +3.5, man. So
they want everyone to bet KC -3.5 because you know why? The game's probably going to be 3, but they are really pushing hard. When you see low VIG lines like that, 102, 103, dude, they're begging for action. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes off at 3.
Yeah. Okay, you mean like when it starts, the line's 3?
Yep.
Or you mean okay?
I think that half point's going to come down to 3 because they're going to be exposed. The money line action is about 90% on KC, and so they got a little wiggle room there with the line. But I'm telling you, I would not be surprised at the very least. That's why we put this bet in. We put this bet in early That hook is important. You know, how many games do we see in the NFL where you get screwed by that hook? Either 7.5, 3.5, 4.5. It just happens so often. So Colts for me, baby. KC don't make the playoffs.
In terms of the money, 53% is on the KC money line, 47% on Indy. Some people see the value. We got 42% on the KC spread. Again, because of the VIG right there, and the 105s, 106s. We got 58% on Indy plus 3.5. And then we got most of the community, 65% on the under.
Wow.
Two tough defenses.
I think the under too.
Two tough defenses. KC's got a good defense, man. I don't think the Colts put up all the points. Colts don't put up 30 on them.
No. I think this is going to be like a 20, what did I say? 24-21. Colts.
You said 24-21? Yeah, we got our consensus is 29-26. I don't think the Colts score 29 though. I think we're too high on that. I think it's more 24-22. We got that as a score. We also got a 24-22 seems somewhere in there. Seems about right. That's right in line with what you're talking about. So, yeah. Okay, man. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a good one. I'm definitely rooting for Daniel Jones here. So, all right, guys, don't forget to get your ticker for your man cave or your bar. Just go to Amazon. Have one delivered to your doorstep. Use the discount code PropJuice at checkout. We were just checking out the PropJuice money line. The Skybox money lines over there at all the different casinos, right? Make sure you go to Skybox Sports Network. Get your odds boards, man. They make a really cool Man Cave edition. Get your sports ticker. They also make a really cool Man Cave edition. You get 10% off those things. Those things are not cheap, man. So you get 10% off, a decent chunk of change, in terms of what you can get off of these sports tickers and odds boards. 10% off your odds, your news, your scores all season long. Skybox Sports Network, available on their website, Skybox Sports Network, and or Amazon. So, Brian, I think we agree on the Bills, the Rams, the Packers, and the Colts to bring us home this weekend. Any last minute or last second commentary?
I like Minnesota, Rams, Bills.
Oh, sorry, Minnesota. I'm sorry, I got Green Bay down here. I got Green Bay not winning. I got Minnesota covering plus 7.5. I'm not doing the 6.5, but I got plus 7.5. Right. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that cool. Once again, we agree on the Bills, the Rams, the Vikings, and the Colts.
Exactly. 4-0, baby. I feel 4-0.
You can get these AI-driven picks that complement Brian's expert capper opinion all season long at PropJuice.ai. Come check out NBA props. Come check out NBA games. Come lock in your best bets for both the NFL and the NBA all weekend long. Get your player props, your game picks. Squeeze profits out of every wager. Maximize your return on investment. Go get PropJuice. PropJuice.ai. AI worth the squeeze. All right, man. Spread the word. Like the channel. Come back next week. From the cave, as you can see here, Man vs. Machine pits expert capper and poker player who just won some nice little pots this past weekend from Venetian over there in Vegas. Brian Reinert against the PropJuice AI data back machine. Catch next week's episode on Thursday before the kickoff to week 13. Oh,
as this season just flew by.
Flying by, man, and college football's almost over. I mean, it's insane.
I know it.
All right, it's been great talking ball with you and stats, Brian. Have a good rest of your week. Good luck if you play any more poker.
Yeah, I might squeeze one more in before December. I got a bunch of family coming in.
You got the bug. You got the bug.
Yeah. Got people coming into town for Thanksgiving, so maybe one more. All right, buddy.
All right, have a good one. Have a good week. Thanks. Bye.
All right, see ya.